What happens when faith and fundamental rights collide in a constitutional democracy? Rekindling the Uniform Civil Code debate, the Supreme Court is now being asked a sensitive question. Can Muslim women in India choose to step outside the Sharia inheritance rules and claim equal property rights under the secular law? Welcome to The Print. I am Ruchi Bhattar, and let's break down what is at stake, not just in terms of inheritance, but autonomy, equality, and the very idea of personal liberty under the Constitution. A petition before the Supreme Court has argued that the Sharia Islamic strictures in Muslim personal laws structurally assign women a smaller share than men and deny them full inheritance in various situations, resulting in systemic gender based deprivation of property rights. On Thursday, the Supreme Court issued a notice to the centre asking for its response. Tagging this petition with several pending pleas seeking similar relief, the Supreme Court set a date to examine the civil rights of Muslim women, specifically focusing on their freedom to opt out of religious mandates in favor of secular laws. At the heart of the legal struggle is the tension between traditional religious statutes and the fundamental rights guaranteed under Article 14, 15, and 21 of the Constitution of India. These rights deal with the right to equality, non discrimination, and the right to dignity. A latest Article 32 petition filed by Polomi Pavani Shukla, an advocate, and Nyaya Nari Foundation seeks to declare Section 2 of the Muslim Personal Law, Shariat Application Act 1937, which governs intestate succession and the special property of females, unconstitutional and violative of Articles 14, 15, and 21. They argued that the rules for inheritance and testamentary succession under Sharia are not essential religious practices under Article 25 of the Constitution, which deals with the right to practice religion. They said that these rights are, in fact, civil and economic arrangements, not fundamental rituals of faith. During the hearing on April 16th, senior advocate Prashant Bhushan for the petitioners argued before a bench of CJI Surya Kant, Justices Joymala Bagchi and Vipul M. Pancholi that since Article 25 of the Constitution does not protect personal law, any personal law that is discriminatory needs to be struck down. Once it's struck down, this Indian Succession Act can apply. Now, it is crucial to note that the Indian Succession Act 1925 governs succession for Christians, Parsis, and other non-Muslims. It excludes Muslims whose inheritance is governed by personal law by establishing uniform procedures for wills, probate, and intestate successions across India. However, the Muslim succession law is uncodified and women receive half the share that men do, with widows receiving 1/4 if childless or 1/8 if with children of the husband's property. The petitioners want Muslims to enjoy the same autonomy over property that other Indian citizens enjoy. This petition also seeks to address the constitutional anomaly where a Muslim woman's rights depend on her place of residence. Now, with the enactment of the Uttarakhand Uniform Civil Code, Muslim women in the state have equal inheritance rights while those in the rest of India do not. This petition seeks to resolve that disparity, arguing that identical religious identity should not result in different civil consequences based solely on geography. During the hearing, CJI Kant also remarked that Uniform Civil Code is a constitutional ambition and has nothing to do with religion. To avoid a legal vacuum, if the discriminatory Sharia provisions are struck down, the petition proposes an immediate remedy, that is, reading down the portion of Indian Succession Act that currently excludes Muslims, thereby allowing them access to a secular and equal system of inheritance. The top court bench also asked Bhushan to bring some aggrieved persons on record. Agreeing to that, Bhushan also added later in the hearing that Muslims fear that the UCC will become a de facto Hindu civil code, emphasizing that the Hindu civil code also relies on customs and isn't uniform. Hence, he said, the UCC must not be discriminatory. Now, what are the other pleas seeking similar relief pending before the Supreme Court of India? The longest pending petition before it on this issue is one by Khurran Sunnat Society, a Kerala-based NGO, since 2016. In 2015, after the Kerala High Court ruled that matters of personal law reform fall within the legislator's mandate, not the judiciary's, they approached the top court in appeal. The society challenged the constitutional validity of Muslim personal law on inheritance, arguing that it discriminates against women and violates fundamental rights guaranteed under Articles 14, 15, and 21. The society argues that under Sharia law, a female child inherits only half the share of a male child. Furthermore, if a deceased person has only daughters and no sons, the daughters receive only two-thirds of the property, with the remainder going to the more distant male relatives. The petitioners here seek a declaration that these inheritance practices are unconstitutional and want Muslim citizens to have the option to be governed by the Indian Succession Act 1925, which is secular. A writ petition registered in 2024 by Sufia PM is pending. This is filed by a Kerala-based woman who identifies as a non-believer and specifically seeks a declaration that she should be governed by the Indian Succession Act rather than the Muslim personal law. Her petition urges that the Supreme Court needs to exempt non-believing Muslims from mandatory application of the Shariat Act 1937, arguing that individuals who no longer adhere to their faith should not be bound by its religious civil mandates. The central government has argued that such changes fall within the parliament's domain, not judicial intervention. Another recent petition filed by Naushad KK has been pending since 2025. Unlike the Sufia case, this petition was filed by a practicing Muslim man seeking inheritance rights under the Indian Succession Act instead of the Muslim personal law. The core of his legal argument is that the forced application of religious inheritance laws violate his fundamental rights to equality, to life, and religious freedom guaranteed under Articles 14, 21, and 25 of the Constitution of India. With that, thank you for watching.